What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode. Sorry it's a late one. My wife and I went camping this last weekend with the in-laws and her aunt and her other uncle. It was a lot of fun. Got a little windy at the end there. We had a little bit of an issue with our tent, but it wasn't really the tent's fault. It was just us not knowing how to set up a new tent that we have. But it was a great time. My wife and I had a lot of fun. We had a pretty nice setup. Our oldest dog, Tommy, had a pretty rough weekend, though. You know, we live in Colorado, which is a pretty expensive place to live currently. And going to the vet is an expensive task also. Tommy was due for an exam, some flea and tick medicine, a heartworm test. He needed his nails trimmed. Crazy bad. And we went to this place in Stockton, Kansas, and got 3 types of medication. We got an exam. We got his teeth looked at. We got a bloodworm test. And we got his nails trimmed for $188. That's insane. I don't know where you live if you're listening to this, but that would have been at least $400 around here easily. I mean, I think $400 probably being nice, if I'm being honest. But man, getting that little dude's nails, he's about 20 pounds. Actually, we weighed him. He's 17.6 pounds. Very American. Almost 1776. But he is strong as hell for his size. It took a muzzle and 3 women holding him to trim those nails. I mean, I would do it myself, believe me, I've tried. But the moment anything he doesn't like it when we even touch his paws. I mean, I basically saved that dude off the damn street, and I can't touch his paws. And he'll let me touch him now. It's taken years and years and years of me just slowly grabbing him while he's sleeping or something, or grabbing him while he's not paying attention. He lets my wife do it now too. But if you ever try to trim that dude's nails, he will bite the living shit out of you. He will bite me in the face. He's done it before. We've had all sorts of stuff. We've tried a harness that hangs above the door frame. That doesn't work. Only thing we haven't tried is a muzzle, and after seeing what the vet had to go through, I don't know if I want to do that. I honestly would rather not be the bad guy and let someone else do it. I mean, that little dog, man, was fighting and fighting and fighting. He was like foaming at the mouth. He was so upset. I got him a treat afterwards. I mean, I couldn't handle it, man. I was teary-eyed and freaked out for that little guy. I had never heard him make a noise. I'd never heard any dog make a noise like that in my entire life. It was insane. It was like they were like beating him, but they were just cutting his fucking nails. But man, I was pretty beat up by it. I had to leave the room because I started getting, choked up. I could barely talk. I kept saying, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's all right. I'm so sorry. It's going to be okay. We have to do this. I mean, because we really did have to do it. His nails were so long that his feet were starting to he couldn't lay his foot flat on the ground. He had to curl his fingers, the end of his paws a little bit, which can't be good. But he started making these noises that it was like in this perfect rhythm to it, to the point to where I was crying but also laughing at the same time. My wife legitimately was like, babe, go get him a treat. Made me leave. I did not handle it well. But after that, we went to Dollar General, one of my favorite places in the whole wide world. Got a bunch of cool shit for camping. Set up that tent once her aunt and uncle got there. The setup wasn't too bad. It's an older tent that's gotten lots of use, and it's a good tent, man. Nice little Coleman tent. That's definitely gotten them through a lot of camping trips. I do a little bit of modifying, but that's just how it goes when you hit that much wind. It wasn't the tent's fault. I mean, Kansas wind gets crazy sometimes. But man, my wife and I were a little cranky at certain times. Mostly me. She slept good for some reason, which is surprising because she never really sleeps that well. I'm usually the one that sleeps better than her. But man, I slept like shit the entire time. There was one night where my wife and I felt pretty relaxed before we went to bed, and I slept better, a lot better. But once that wind starts kicking and just beating the hell out of the tent, and I need a little bit of silence to go to sleep. I can sleep through stuff once I'm asleep, but falling asleep with a lot of noise is a no-go. I mean, my best friend in the world, Evan, is the craziest snorer you've ever seen. He used to be our roommate, and if it was quiet in the house and he had his door shut across the apartment, and our bedroom was open across the other side, you could hear his ass snoring through the walls easily. Luckily, he got that figured out recently. I told his ass he had sleep apnea, that there was no way in hell someone snored like that, and they were totally healthy. And of course, he had sleep apnea. I'm glad he got that thing figured out, man. I'd rather him be like Darth Vader than have to die in his sleep one night. It's a little extreme, but I mean, it could happen, right? Anyway, man, camping was a lot of fun. My wife got sunburned as hell. I'm about to run her an oatmeal bath. She's at the store right now getting groceries. She took one last night. It seemed to help a little bit. We're both exhausted though. I went to bed as early as I could last night. I got the dogs out at 9 though, or else we'll both be waking up. One of us will be waking up. My wife will be waking up in the middle of the night. Not because I'm a dick and won't wake up, but Captain, our dog that would have to get up, is the one that will wake her up. She won't come to me. And like I said, I sleep through that stuff. That dog whines one time while my wife's sleeping. She is wide awake. But I mean, I get it. That's her baby. You know, she drove 7 hours to and from to get him. And he was 8 weeks old, and we've had him ever since. He's now 2 years old. We got him when he was smaller than Tommy, and now he is 90 pounds. Crazy how time flies, man. You wish they grew like kids, like adult, like human kids. Cause man, when he's still super adorable. But man, when he was 10, 15 pounds, he was the cutest little thing. So fluffy with the sharpest teeth in the world. That part sucked. And he was a little bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. But man, watching him chase Tommy around and stumble all over himself, all that super, super fuzzy. Man, he was so cute. I remember when we first got him, we couldn't go in. My wife and I love the farmer's market. It's one of our favorite things to do in the summer together. And we had to stop bringing him with us because we couldn't walk 10 feet without someone stopping us literally every 2 steps. I mean, it was nonstop. Someone would say, "Oh my God, what is he?" And he's obviously a golden retriever. I don't know why people fucking ask that. I mean, he's either a lab or a golden retriever, and you don't really ask that because most people just say, "Oh, is he a lab or is he a golden retriever?" And honestly, I'm not really gonna correct him too much. My wife will. My wife will tell him that he's not a golden retriever, he's an English cream retriever. Which is funny because I imagine him. Do you ever imagine what your dog's voices would sound like if they were people? Like Tommy for sure would sound like some Vato from East LA. And I think Captain would be a real posh, "Oi, governor." Dude, I can't do accents. I'm not gonna embarrass myself by trying. I mean, it was a fun time. Sorry, I went a little tirade there. I had a great time camping. I can't wait to do it again. I got a little bit sunburnt too, mostly from Saturday when I was out sawing wood and chopping wood to try to make a fire that night. I'm really lucky the wind died down because if I wasn't able to make a fire after all that work, I'd be pretty pissed. This kid Trenton was there. He was a help. That's what I'll say. He was very helpful, and I really appreciated it. I felt bad for him though, man. He's he's had a tough childhood, and I get that. I didn't have the easiest either, So I told my wife this. I seem to always have a little bit of an effect on, how do I put this, on young boys who need a figure in their life, not a father figure, because I don't think I put off that vibe, nor do I really want to. But I think, for whatever reason, being an older brother and the oldest of most of my cousins, and always sort of being in the role of a big brother, that I must put off a vibe of some type, because it's happened to me before on quite a few occasions, where someone who doesn't have a brother is kind of glued to me. And at first it was annoying, but I guess you get used to it, and you just gotta be cool, be a good example as best you can. And, if they ask questions, answer them. I've seen quite a few things in my life, from physical abuse, mental abuse, drug abuse. I've seen all sorts of stuff from people, whether it be in my family or friends' families. So I guess I do have somewhat of a idea of what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. He's a really good kid though, man. And he was helpful, because I picked up probably 6 to 8 downed logs that were just sitting all over the place. And I found all sorts of shit over there. I mean, it's a Webster Lake near Palco, Kansas. I saw tons of deer. No bucks though. I still haven't seen a buck out there, man. I know they're out there because every year someone they know shoots one. But I saw probably 8 to 10 maybe doe while I was out there. Man, I walked up on 3 deer carcass while I was out there, all doe again. I even looked for sheds, because last time I found a shed in the ground and didn't pick it up, my mother-in-law was pretty pissed at me. But I found this, what I could only describe as a deer leg grave site. There were 12 at least sets of deer legs, just the legs, and just knee down. It was so strange, man. I got a video. Maybe I'll post it on Twitter, so follow me there to check that out. But yeah, it was a good trip, man. So sorry about the late upload, the late podcast. This weekend I'm gonna have Greg and Cody on again. We're gonna talk some Nuggets, hopefully. Talk some NFL, obviously, and probably some UFC. We'll see what else comes up by then. So thank you for listening. My name's Connor. This has been Sports and Comedy with Connor. Follow me on Twitter at ConnorCReal. Follow me on Instagram at sports, the letter N, comedy with. I'm sorry. No, follow me on Instagram at sports and comedy with. Follow me on TikTok at sports, the letter N, comedy with Connor. And email us at sportsandcomedywithconnor@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and as always, stay cool.